Hello everyone, welcome to this message. So as our first card today, we have the Guardian at the Gates. And then we have as our next two cards, Liz of the Shadows and Arwel the Parrot. So there's something immediately about because this is the card of the subconscious guardian, right? So there's something um, like where you are, there's a part of you that's protecting yourself from something. That's pretty clear. And I do think this is not a guardian angel that is protecting you. This is literally you are protecting yourself. So there's something about that you know, that there is a part of you inside of you, right? That knows that is you'd say like that that has a higher understanding upon things and is knows, for example, like when you are ready for something, when you're not ready for something. And it is, you could say that um, if you would see this world as being created, and I think this has to do with that certain events are not being created, right? Because you are, because from a higher perspective, there's a part of you that knows that you need to be protected from this at this moment in time. So you could, for me, this is a rather conscious process, right? This is the case. Um, but maybe for other people, like what you are experiencing in the world, and maybe you're wondering about what is not unfolding in your life, for example. And the reason why this is not unfolding is because the Holy Spirit is literally protecting you from certain experiences. And for me, this maybe for you as well, this is a very consciously experienced experience, right? So certain things are, I know that that there the part in me that creates is not creating certain things out of conscious protection. So I'm conscious of that protection that is happening. So let's see. So we have fun, and then we have the stress and the energies of others. So the stress and energy of others has to do with the collective, right? So for me, this means that like when I go, this card was made like when I go into a supermarket and I feel everyone's energies, right? And it's extremely overwhelming to the point that it makes me very confused, and I can't really like you're looking at the groceries on the shelves and you're like yeah, you've got some real trouble if you don't have a grocery list available. So which is not always the case, but it can be the case when I go grocery shopping. So I've learned to go, like my father goes grocery shopping for us, which is amazing. But if I would have to, like those rare moments that I have to go grocery shopping myself, or there is some kind of reason why I need to get something extra, which is almost never the case, then I choose those stores that have people who are generally lesser stressed out, you could say, at moments that people are also less stressed out to go grocery shopping, and that they're like those more empty stores, you could say, right? So, and there I can actually think and consciously do my shopping, right? But yeah, it's very fascinating. So yeah, and this is also, I don't know why I'm saying this, but like this is also a store where people go and buy things that are a little bit more high class, you could say, right? But like if you get like the, the white product of that supermarket is just as cheap as anywhere else, right? It's actually just higher quality food, and there are a lot of promotions as well. So it's actually quite, yeah. They don't want to waste any fruits or vegetables, so you can like buy them really cheap then. So actually, it's actually quite a cheap experience, like when you come outside with a grocery cart. But at the same time, it is actually a store where people go that I'm assuming have more money, right? So um, because most people think like that would be a very expensive store to go and buy groceries. So they go to the cheaper stores, and in those cheaper stores, people are more stressed out in a sense. So, and I feel that energy. So I go to these other stores that are actually cheaper when you come outside. So it's kind of fascinating. So, so what could this mean in terms of a metaphor? This could talk about going where other people, like taking an unconventional route in life, I guess, like doing something that other people may not think is wise to do. Yeah, going your own path, following an unconventional path that most people, that the collective is not usually taking. You could talk about that. Of course, you could also talk about like the literally the stress and the energies of other people. And this merry-go-round experience has could have something to do with what you are protecting yourself from. Because the merry-go-round experience is a little bit like the hamster in the hamster wheel, right? Like, here we go again, right? So it could be that you are consciously protecting yourself or subconsciously protecting yourself, or the Holy Spirit is doing that, right? That, yeah, you're protecting yourself from this merry-go-round experience again because you know that there are other things to focus on right now than to be on this merry-go-round, right? That, for example, for me, this is a time where I've consciously chosen to not be experiencing any message requests. I'm not creating those. And the reason why I'm protecting myself from that is because I want to like get my life in order, like focus on those things that I never get have time to do, and like really focus there before I start doing message requests again, right? So this is definitely like protecting yourself, and I've also consciously chosen to after that to create the experience that I would like to experience once I've decided for myself that I would like to start doing message requests again to make that a very, very conscious experience, a conscious creation. So, yeah, and I've been talking to God about that as well. So maybe it's going to talk about that because God has a tendency to that I'm like talking to him like the night before and like the day after it appears in the cards. So like an answer to what we were talking about. So it's kind of fascinating. So it could definitely talk about what that is. So this could be God talking about this specifically that, right? Like this is this could be literally the same experience as you're experiencing, or it could be a metaphor for something else, right? That there is something about that you are consciously protecting yourself from some kind of merry-go-round experience, right? Like, here we go again, we're on the merry-go-round again, which has something to do with the stress of other people, the energies of other people, or and you are choosing a different path. So you are choosing to consciously protect yourself from this, and also you are consciously choosing what is going to come next, right? What the path is going to be. So let's just see how this unfolds. So I have the guardian of the gate, so this subconscious, well, actually quite conscious in my case, but it's actually the subconscious uh, protecting you, like you protecting you. There's something protecting you, or you are actively, consciously protecting yourself from an experience that you know is not going to be good for you, I guess, right? So, and in my case, it's like I would like to first get my life in order, and then I will re-engage with this, but also in a very, very consciously created way. So this is like someone who is like moving away from something. So you are subconsciously moving away It could even be the birth of, which is conscious, right? That is conscious creation in a sense, because birth to me means a conscious creation of something. So I do think that this is you protecting yourself and also choosing the conscious creation of, I'm going to be moving away from this. I'm going to be moving away from these lower, denser energies. It's that, right? So I'm going to be moving away from these lower, denser energies here. I'm going to be consciously protecting myself from this by consciously creating that experience, right? So that's literally what's happening, right? So I consciously protect myself in the sense that the world I see around me is a conscious creation, right? I'm conscious of the fact that I'm protecting myself here. And it's also very interesting that we have number 44, so this is the angels. So this could also be that the angels are helping you in this case. The angels are causing a divine alignment. The angels are causing a divine alignment. So it's kind of like the angels are creating this, right? So it's kind of like you stating to the angels, in a way, like, I would like to, this is what I'm going to do, right? So you're stating it, you are verbally expressing it, verbally stating it, and the angels are listening. That's what this means. The angels are listening while you are verbally stating what you want your conscious experience to be, right? So you're like, just like I said, like, I'm going to be first, I'm going to get my life in order, right? Focus on all of the little things that I would like to do, like, for example, making sure that the PIN code of my new bank card is active and functioning. These kinds of little things, right? Like making sure that like all of the little things are in order, and then I don't have to worry about money because I'm going to be consciously creating that money in the future, right? So I'm going to have a peaceful month until I say, okay, now I would like to move into the conscious creation of this, what I would like to be creating in the future, right? And there's also something here about that I would like it to be a much more fun experience. So when I consciously create, I create from the idea of a playground experience, which is kind of fascinating because this is a little bit like a playground where you consciously create and have fun with this life being a playground experience, right? Where you choose the experience that you would like to have. And I was like literally asking God about that yesterday. Like, would that be okay if I would go about it like this? Because I was given the instruction as a child, right? Like that I should not consciously create anything, right? So that God's imagination would be what is created out there. And I was wondering about that with God, right? Like, should I consciously create, or should I just let it come my way? Because there's not much coming my way, and I would like to have a financially a little bit more upgraded experience, and I actually feel inspired to start consciously creating again. And I also know that how I've been living my life, I've like for the last years, I was always consciously creating my experience, right? So this is quite unusual for me. And we were talking about like what exactly happened when this whole unfolding, why did this exactly start? Because I've always been connected to you, and like all of a sudden this starts. It was this like, how should I see this experience? Pretty much was what I was talking to God about. And so, is it okay if I would consciously create my experience? So I think this is a little bit. This could be a message of, yeah, just consciously create your experience. And but there are different ways of consciously creating an experience. You could do it in a very fun way, which is kind of fascinating, right? Where you like literally create it on paper in a very creative way, right? Like this is what I would like to experience, and you're very exact, and you are choosing the experiences that you would like to have, like literally creating your life experience. So, or you could have a thought, and that thought in and of itself starts a whole unfolding, cascading domino effect of creation, right? So there are multiple ways to create, and I have multiple options to create, pretty much, right? And so I do think that what God wants to say here is no, just say what you would like to experience, and the angels are going to be creating that for you, right? Because they're listening. Like you say something, the angels are listening. They're like, okay, good. Let me get to work to make that a reality, right? So it's good. So I do think that what God wants to say is like, it's good what you are doing. I'm in agreement of that. Yes, protect yourself, and then go consciously create. So, which is kind of amazing, because that's also what I felt inspired to do. And I was like, if I feel inspired to do this, then it's probably what is meant to happen right now, right? So let's see. And then we have the undressing of a salad. So this has to do with because I was also talking to God about like, is this going to be creating a negative experience? Because yeah, because you can create and then cause negative experience, and I would not like to have that. And yeah, so interesting. So we have the undressing of a salad here. So this talks about having a lot of balls in the air, right? So I'm actually deciding to consciously create once I am out of this period. I would like to consciously create quite a busy experience, right? So I would like to like once I get out of this period of like nothing happening, and I can get everything in order, I am planning on after that to start becoming extremely busy, right? To like create a very, very busy experience, which would be like having a lot of balls in the air, right? Um, so, which is a little bit like that threshold, right? Like a threshold of protecting yourself and then consciously choosing a very, very busy experience, which is kind of this here because it's like divine alignment. Uh, 31, right? It's in divine alignment, and then you start this new beginning. So you're like, okay, I'm going to be protecting myself from other people, from their energies, their stress, their experience. And like, here we go again, right? And then after this period, I'm going to consciously create what I would like to create in a very fun way, right? So that would be very interesting. And then we have this, right? So we have Gloom Doom after that. So let's just see what that means. So Gloom Doom has something to do with like this gooey, like this ball has something to do with like a gooey ball, right? Like, so um, it always makes me think about pus, right? Like a nasty, gooey experience. So navigating a nasty, gooey experience, very low vibrational, very dense, very low vibrational and dense. And then we go into the fairy guide, and that's very interesting because the fairy guide is a card for me about literally creating, like having a fresh piece of paper and then literally creating your experience, like stating what you would like to experience, right? Which is most definitely this. Like I'm going to be consciously creating what I would like to experience, and maybe you want to do that on paper, right? So but you create a very fun experience, because that's what I would like to create, right? A very fun experience, which is not really. I've been talking to God about that, right? Like that's not really what I am. I do very serious work, right? But what I would like to create is something that's much more fun, like it used to be in the past, where it's just about divine inspiration and yeah, a very very much more fun way of interacting with this experience, right? Which is also kind of like the grocery list, making the grocery list of what you would like to experience. So, yeah, so that should be very interesting. But why the gloom though? So list of the shadows is like moving away from a very low vibrational energy, which is would be the combination of this, like moving away from a very low vibrational energy and like consciously protecting yourself from that kind of an experience for now. And then when you start re-engaging, you do it from a place where it's a very, very, very highly conscious creation that is also very fun. And then we have the master maker here as our underlying energy. So this is a little bit of a peculiar card because this is like literally Satan deciding what the path ahead is going to be, right? And but it is also a card of you choosing your own path in life, right? So it could be that it's a peculiar thing to get because it says growth here, and like the peach is to me represents miraculous growth, right? So this is not, you could say like this is not miraculous growth. This is not miraculous growth. So when like you are stating things, right? So it means like if you decide your path, this is not miraculous growth. This is consciously created miracles much more than miraculous growth, right? So this is not wishful thinking. This is you stating your path and it happens because you are instructing the angels upon what they are supposed to be doing. So it's like you how do you say that? Because the peach to me means it's kind of like wishful thinking, right? Because it means like I put like these pits in the ground a lot of times in my childhood. I was hoping that there would be a peach tree that came from that, and it never happened. So there's something about maybe as well like not hoping for something miraculous to happen, but just consciously creating something that should not be considered a miracle because it is something you are consciously creating. And I have some interesting thoughts about what I would like to create, which has also something to do with miracles, right? Um, but it would not be a miracle in a sense because you are consciously creating that. And then we have take no offense. So take no offense. Could it be that you may be able to create an experience where you won't have these experiences, where people this person is in a golden carriage, right? So, and also it's kind of like a chariot, and a chariot to me means consciously deciding your path, right? Being on the steering wheel of what you would like to create. But it's very, very interesting because you deciding your destiny, you deciding what's going to happen, uh, is interesting because this person is sitting in a golden carriage, right? So it's like this golden carriage would then be probably driven by the angels, right? The angels moving you perhaps out of a dense environment, out of what I guess what Satan would have wanted to create, and you are going to be creating something else, a very, very conscious and fun experience that could be considered for other people to be miraculous, but it's not really miraculous because you have you have created these miracles, right? So yeah, so I do see that like that. And then we have impulse control at the bottom. So impulse control is, to me, talks about fasting pretty much. So this relates to Easter, right? Easter and fasting, and how I would consciously abstain from certain foods because I wanted to do that, right? That was not because the world told me that I should be fasting. It was something that I wanted to do as a child, like very, very consciously. It was a personal choice to do this. And this impulse control could, in this particular case, also talk about that you are choosing to abstain yourself from certain experiences, right? So you are very, very consciously abstaining from perhaps the stress and the energies of others. And you're going to be creating a very playground, very much fun experience that is incredibly consciously created. So I do think that perhaps God is trying to say that you can do that, go ahead with that. Yes, it is. It is in divine alignment. It is you're feeling inspired for a reason, and you go and say what's going to happen, and instead of where you are going to be creating that world you see around yourself instead of Satan doing that in your place, right? So let's just see. And then we have Rise and Shine, and 56 came back somewhere else. I don't know where, but I saw it here. So it's connected. So instead of a negative, dark, low vibrational experience, you're going to have this rise and shine experience of, oh, I'm waking up and I'm seeing my manifestation here. This is my creation. So yeah, it's very interesting because these are like the boats coming in, which relates to the Tree of Wands card, right? And the Tree of Wands card is like something that you have set, and then it starts being created. So you welcome this experience into your life, and you're kind of like waiting for it to happen. So what this means is like you have consciously communicated to the angels, whether you realize it or not, right? You have consciously created an instruction to the angels, and they are listening, right? They're like, okay, good. The moment you are ready to get out of this experience, right? So the moment you say, okay, now I've got everything in order. Now I would like to have a lot of message requests coming in, right? I want to get real busy. Like the angels have already picked it up and they're like standing by pretty much. That's what this wants to say. Like the angels are standing by and they're like, okay, once you are ready, tell us and we're going to make it happen. So yeah, which is very interesting. And then as soon as you say, okay, I'm not protecting myself, I'm going to start this conscious creation because that's what this is, right? The birth is the conscious creation, but it's also the guardian at the gate, the protection, the conscious. For people, usually it is a subconscious creation, but it's like a conscious protection that you're like, okay, and it isn't divine alignment, right? Three and then three and one. So it isn't divine alignment for you to protect yourself right now. And it is also in divine alignment that you would be creating this really busy experience for yourself after that. And yeah, and you're going to be seeing that conscious creation. So whatever you have stated was going to happen, it's going to happen. And like you're going to start seeing it's kind of like you waking up to a new day and you have decided upon what you want to experience. And then you open the curtains and like you literally the see it being created, right? Because the angels are going to get to work and create that experience. So they are probably already right now already starting to align things. And maybe it's also very interesting to start to make it so conscious, right? That you are starting to maybe playfully already start to think about, okay, what kind of an experience would I like to have after I have decided I'm going to lift this protection upon my reality, and then I'm going to start creating this conscious creation that is on this paper. So maybe start being creative about it, right? So like and you could create in all kinds of ways, right? But like do it in a fun way, right? So create an experience that will be fun for you to have, that you think like, oh, I would like to experience that, and oh, I would like to experience that, but do it in a very, very conscious way, right? Very so so this reminds me of the time where I was like sitting in the bathtub, right? And I had like this notepad with me, like this notebook. And I was like, okay, what would I like to create for next week? What I would like to experience? But it was very much a creative experience as well. So I had like these, like, it was very playful in a sense. So I don't think people usually create like that. Like I have many ways to create, right? But this is one of the ways I do it. It's like I just get some colored paper out and I start like making pictures of the things I would like to experience in that week, right? I make like these product pictures And then I start writing down, like, okay, I would like to experience this on Monday, that on Tuesday, that on Wednesday, right? So that's very, very clear. Like, this is what I would like to experience on each day. And like, I just do it week by week, right? So every week I create a different experience that I feel inspired to do, right? So it's very much based on divine inspiration. It's very fun and very free and a very creative playground kind of experience. Like, it's kind of like, okay, what I would like to create in this world, right? And then it starts happening, right? So you can also create by just saying it because the angels are listening, quite literally. So I guess like the angels want to say, like, start having fun, like start writing it down. Just make the grocery list, which is kind of fascinating because you make a grocery list for the week ahead, right? So start making the grocery list for the week ahead. Like, what would you like to experience? And then as soon as you say like, okay, I have dealt with all the details, I'm ready. You can say to the angels, okay, start this creation because I'm ready. Um, I would like to start experiencing this. So just make a grocery list for the future, pretty much. So yeah, so I love that. That's very, very clear advice. So I hope you will also have a lot of fun, like creating your experience, um, and that you will see that life really is a playground, right? Like you can experience whatever you want to experience, and just see it as communicating to the angels, like, okay, angels, this is what I would like to experience next week. This is my grocery list for the angels, right? So it's kind of like saying, just like giving a grocery list to another person, like, could you bring that from the supermarket? Get that from the supermarket. But this is like you saying that to the angels, right? Like you saying to the angels, and it's very interesting that today is the day that I make a grocery list. So I do think the angels want to say, like, today may be a great day to do that, right? A Thursday, right? So maybe you want to do that every Thursday, perhaps. So there's something about like go and sit down, and just like you make a grocery list every Thursday, make a grocery list this week about what you would like to experience, right? And you can do it in all kinds of ways. Like I've also, if you want, what I also sometimes like to do, but this is not really that experience, I think. Um, there is a piece of paper involved, though. I think it's more that inspired experience. What you could also do is like get a Word document, right? And like all the things that you would like to experience, just make pictures of, get pictures of all the things you would like to experience. Only the problem with that is that you sometimes quite literally create it. So in my case, like if I put a picture on on there and I was actually it was representing an experience I would like to have, right? And sometimes I get literally someone, like I once got like a photo frame with literally that picture in it. So I got the picture on the document, literally. So, but it can also create really miraculous and cool experiences as well. So, like you could also like gather some pictures on in a Word document. So maybe I'm going to do all of these things because it seems like that God wants to say like you can do all of these things because this is like that very, very much like divinely inspired, super creative, playful experience of making a grocery list. So it's like I would like to do this and this and that. I'm going to make these product pictures and such, right? Like, and I'm going to post them online as well, right? Like get it ready. And then yeah, and so to do that, and then to start like literally writing down, right, when you want to experience it. But you could also like not even do that and just be like, this is just what I would like to experience, which is much more interesting because then you can get greater divine alignment in a way, right? So that you can either consciously choose everything, but it's always much more interesting when there's a little bit of angelic miracles involved. I like that better. So that you're like, yeah, I'm creating this is what I would like to experience. And then the angels will divinely align it at the right timing and things like that, right? So you can make it really, really specific, less specific, so you can really, really choose. But I think there's also something about like being very, very specific. So I think what God wants to say is like, go and do that, right? Make this very, very inspired, like uh, start making pictures and things like that, and see what you are divinely inspired that you would like to be experiencing in the upcoming week when it relates to people like clients, right? What would you like to experience? And once you do that, like start writing down, like, okay, I would like to experience this on Monday, this on Tuesday, that on Wednesday, right? Make it very specific. And also use your voice, right? So conscious creation through the voice is also very, very, you can do it through a thought. Like for me, one thought can start a chain reaction until the day I die, right? So until I say, okay, stop, that I no longer want to have that creation, and I start another creation. So I can have a lot of control over what I create. So you can say start, you can say stop, right? And you can state a specific time frame as well if you would like, right? So for example, make a grocery list just for 1 week of experiences, and then choose something else, right? Because that's just much more interesting, much more fun. And yeah, just state it on paper. So use a Word document as well, put some pictures on there, like, oh, I would like to experience this, I would like to experience that. And so you can have all kinds of experiences. So I do think, like, use your voice as well, right? So if you are, just state what you would like to experience, right? And it will start happening. So there are so many ways that you could create, but this is a week where you are very much like getting a thumbs up, go ahead, go and create your conscious experience and have a lot of fun with it. Um, and know that you can stop it at any time, you can start it at any time, that you have full control. So, which is pretty much like, okay, I'm ready, angels. I'm waking up tomorrow and I'm going to start seeing my creation coming into my existence, and like seeing, like waking up to a new world of experiences, right? So have fun with it, is a little bit the idea. So I'm really happy about that because I felt inspired. I don't usually feel inspired towards that, but I felt inspired again to do that. So I'm most definitely going to be doing that today, I think. So I'm wishing you a very, very beautiful day ahead, and I hope this was very inspiring to you. Bye bye.